Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about something fundamental, personal safety, but we're going to come at it from a completely different angle. It's not about learning 100 complex moves, it's about one simple, powerful shift in your thinking that can genuinely change everything. So let's dive right in.
And right up top, I want to mention that this explainer is sponsored by the Other Way Marshall Consulting. They actually provided all the source material we're digging into today.
So let me start by asking you a question, and I want you to really think about it. What's actually more important, winning a fight or just getting home? Seriously, your answer to that single question completely reframes how you should approach any potential conflict.
You see, for most of us, our default programming for conflict is all about the collision. It's this idea that you have to meet force with force and come out on top. But as we're about to see, that entire idea of winning is, well, it's pretty flawed from the start. This traditional mindset has a name. It's called passive safety. It's the belief that safety is just something that happens after you win. It relies on you being stronger or faster or more skilled than the other person. Basically, it assumes a fight is necessary to achieve safety.
But here's the problem with that logic, isn't it? Even if you win a fight, have you really won? You still lost time, you've definitely lost energy, and you've opened yourself up to injury, legal issues, you name it. The collision itself has a price, no matter who walks away.
So, if that old model is broken, what's the alternative? This is where we get to the core of this idea. It's a totally new paradigm, a proactive and, honestly, much more powerful approach called active safety.
This slide really lays it out perfectly. Look at the difference. Passive safety is all about the fight. The goal is winning, and it relies on you having better physical attributes. But active safety, it flips the script entirely. It focuses on the outcome. The goal isn't winning, it's just preserving the peace. And it relies on things like foresight and flow, not brute force.
So what is active safety? It's an active discipline. It's something you practice. And it simplifies the entire mess down to one single binary goal, a yes or no question. Did I get home safely? That's it. That is the only metric for success.
And this discipline, it starts right between your ears with a concept called strategic insulation. Think of it like creating a mental buffer zone. It's the habit of mapping your exits, understanding your environment, and knowing how to create a path to safety long before a problem even materializes.
And look, this isn't just theory. Here's a quote from a student, David L. He said, "I realized I didn't need to win the interaction, I just needed to maintain my peace. That clarity changed everything." That simple shift from a need to win to a goal of maintaining peace, that's the entire game.
Okay, so this sounds great, right? But how do you actually put it into practice? Well, the system is built on a really practical framework. It's 3 pillars that help you replace that reactive, emotional instinct with a calm, disciplined response.
The 3 pillars are creation, maintenance, and recovery. It's a clear process. First, you create your boundaries. Second, you maintain calm. And third, if things go wrong, you have a clear process to recover your safety. Let's break each one down.
So pillar 1 is creation. And it's simple. You can't protect a boundary that you haven't defined. This is about consciously setting your lines both internally and externally. It might be deciding you're not going to engage in a road rage argument, or it could be physically creating space if someone gets too close. You define your safe zone. Next up, maintenance. This is all about keeping your ego in check. You know, aggression needs a reaction to survive. It's like a fire that needs oxygen. When you respond with courtesy and calm, you're starving that fire. In a weird way, staying polite becomes a powerful form of control. You're not giving them the fuel they want. And finally, pillar 3, recovery. If a situation does escalate and your safety is compromised, the goal is immediate. It's not to win, it's not to teach them a lesson. The goal is to end the collision, create an exit, and get back to a state of peace as quickly as possible. Okay, so I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but what happens if you're already caught off guard, already in a bad spot? What then?
And this is where the beauty of the framework really shines. Your mind immediately snaps to pillar 3, recovery. You don't waste a single second of processing power on the wrong question like, how do I beat this person? Instead, you ask a much better, much more effective question. What is the fastest way for me to get to safety? That clarity cuts through the panic.
Now, understanding this framework is one thing, but turning it into an instinct, something you can rely on under pressure, that takes practice. For anyone who wants to really master these concepts, The Other Way offers a mentorship program.
It's 10 weeks of live virtual training with an experienced instructor to really nail down the mechanics, followed by 2 2-hour days of hands-on practice to give you a real physical feel for these principles. And speaking of that, if you're finding this explainer valuable, if these ideas are clicking for you, please take just a second to like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment. It honestly makes a huge difference and helps us get this information out to more people. Thank you. So all of these pillars, this whole framework, it's all built on top of one core philosophy, the strategy of calm. It's about treating your time, your energy, and your attention as precious resources that you simply cannot afford to waste on pointless conflict.
This quote from Sensei B. Duncan just nails it. Spending time and energy fighting only wastes time and effort, increases the possibility of injury, and takes away from the desired goal, safe arrival. Every second you spend tangled up in a fight is a second you're not spending getting safely to your destination.
Which brings us to this core tenet. And if you remember one thing, make it this. Victory is leaving. True victory is not about domination. It's about disengagement. By that logic, anything, your ego, your anger, your pride, anything that keeps you in that conflict a moment longer than necessary is, by definition, a failure of safety. And on that thought, we'll begin to wrap up. On behalf of the Other Way Martial Consulting, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to explore these ideas with us today.
At the end of the day, you always have the right to choose your path. You have the right to de-escalate, to walk away, to prioritize your own well-being. So the only real question left is this: will you let yourself get stuck in a fight that doesn't matter, or will you choose the path that gets you home?